Before you reach the water, you sing. Not because it is custom, not because your elders told you to, because something in the water is listening, right now, the way it has always been listening. And if it doesn't recognize your voice, if it can't smell the earth you've rubbed into your skin, it will know you came without permission. You stand at a distance, you call out, you name yourself. You name the language of this place and demonstrate that you know it, because knowledge of the place is the credential, not invitation, not goodwill, knowledge. You rub a handful of earth onto your skin so the thing in the water can smell that you belong here. Then you approach. This is not ceremony for its own sake. This is a safety protocol, developed over tens of thousands of years of close observation of what happens to people who don't follow it. Something is in that water. It has always been there, and it is listening. The Kununju people of western Arnhem Land call it Naliad. The Yolnu of northeastern Arnhem Land call it Wittich. Waggle in parts of Western Australia, Dakin among the Kabi people of Queensland, in whose tradition the rainbow itself is the serpent moving safely between waterholes. Hundreds of names across hundreds of language groups covering an entire continent, every one of them referring to the same shape underneath the local specificity. Rock art depicting the serpent in Arnhem Land has been dated to at least 6,000 years ago. In those first attempts to capture it, the earliest images, it looked like a seahorse. Curved body, long nose, curved tail. Something that had been in the water since before it knew what shape to take. The oldest continuous mythological tradition on Earth, still running. It came from beneath the ground. Before there were rivers, before there were gorges, before the landscape had its current shape, it moved through what was then a flat and featureless earth. The gorges of Arnhem Land, the deep ones, the ones that drop suddenly and completely, those are where it pushed through. The permanent waterholes, the ones that never dry even in drought, those are where it rested. When a waterfall roars in the escarpment country, when you hear it before you see it, that sound is its voice. The large holes in stony banks of rivers, the gashes in cliff faces that water doesn't explain, those are its tracks. You are not standing in a landscape. You are standing inside something that is alive and has always been alive. The rainbow you see in the sky after rain is the serpent traveling between waterholes, not a metaphor, not a symbol. The serpent, moving. You are welcome to live here. The serpent made that possible. You're welcome. The serpent controls water. In the desert, this means it controls life and death with no buffer between them. Without it, no rain falls, the earth dries, the conception spirits stop coming. The thing that can drown you without hesitation is also the only reason the rain falls. You cannot choose not to need it. A man once followed a dingo into a crater tunnel, a tunnel made by the serpent. The dingo was eaten and regurgitated. It came back. The man was simply gone, never found. The serpent does not distinguish between the man and the dingo in any way you would find reassuring. Its power over you is not malice. It is indifference structured by law. Break the law, and the consequence is the same whether you intended to break it or not. The serpent does not accept ignorance as a defense. This is why you sing before you approach the water. This is why you rub the earth on your skin. Not because the serpent is merciful to those who try, but because the protocol is the only thing that distinguishes you from the dingo. The Wawalag Sisters were traveling, in the tradition of the Yolnu people of Arnhem Land, when the elder sister gave birth. Her blood flowed into a waterhole, the serpent's waterhole. It traced the scent. It found them sleeping. It consumed them, the sisters, their children, everything. Then an ant bit it. The serpent regurgitated them, and the act of regurgitation created Arnhem Land. And then the serpent began to speak. In the sisters' voices, teaching the sacred knowledge the sisters had carried to the people living there. Most creation stories end with the deity stepping back. This one ends with the deity speaking in a borrowed voice. Did the sisters survive the serpent? Or did the serpent learn to sound like them so completely that survival and erasure became the same thing? Their knowledge endured. Their voices endured. But the serpent speaks them now, and no one alive can hear the difference. The white ochre that Aboriginal artists use to depict the rainbow serpent, the brilliant white paint for bark paintings, for rock art, for ceremony, is, in the tradition, the feces of the rainbow serpent itself. The image of the serpent is made from the serpent's own body. You cannot document it without using part of it to do so. There is no outside position from which to observe it. Every bark painting, every piece of rock art, every ritual object, every attempt to show its shape to someone who has not seen it, is itself an act of contact with the entity. The serpent has been documenting itself through human hands for longer than any civilization currently existing on Earth has been keeping records. And the artists who do it today are not recreating an ancient practice. They are continuing one that has never stopped. Arnhem Land is not a place where the rainbow serpent used to be worshipped. It is a place where the rainbow serpent is. Communities still sing to the waterholes before approaching, still rub earth on their bodies, still maintain the sacred sites with care and with protocol, and with the understanding that the entity residing there is as present as it ever was. The Mimi spirits, other supernatural beings in the Arnhem Land tradition, are said to sleep inside the serpent's coils, curled up within the body of the most dangerous entity in the landscape, because that is the safest place available to them. The most feared thing is also the only shelter. You live according to which phase it is in. You structure your entire existence around the mood of something that has been here since before the landscape had its current shape, and will be here after the last person who knows its name is gone. And you sing to it before you approach the water. Because it is still there. Because it is always there. On the Orcadian Islands of Scotland, a creature with no skin lives in the North Sea. It comes ashore in winter when an older spirit loses her strength. A man named Thomas survived an encounter with it by accident. It kept his hat and went back to the sea and waited. Two things that live in the water, two traditions built around the impossibility of avoiding what lives there. The Orcadians learned to watch for it in winter, to keep one eye on the nearest loch. The communities of Arnhem Land learned to sing. Both answers are correct. Both answers are the product of tens of thousands of years of living alongside something that will outlast every explanation ever offered for it. And if you approach the waterhole without singing, if you arrive without demonstrating knowledge of this place and the language of this place and the right to be here, it will know. It has always known. Same fears, different shores,